All right, so this is gonna be another quick update. What I've done so far, I guess this is part 3. Um, Done a bunch of little stuff lately. I got the alternator charging. I got the intake tube crossover modified. Um, I've decided to ditch the PCM and stock gauges. Apparently, I cut a wire that I wasn't supposed to cut. I was looking at an older, I guess an older TJ wiring harness guide, and apparently they were run a little differently, or colors are different. So I cut some wires that weren't supposed to be cut. Now I'm missing a 5-volt reference. It's not putting out of the PCM, so I could buy another harness, but at this point I'm just kind of over it. I've already got a couple glow shift gauges that I was running anyway, so I might just build my own dash, or not dash, but gauge cluster. What else have I done here? I'll show you the intake real quick. Got the intake tube cut, re-welded, painted. This was from a non-intercooled 12-valve Cummins. Originally, these sat between these two valve covers on the non-intercooled. So what it would do was it would come over, kick this way, and come to the turbo, so everything would line up. But since mine's got the P-pump on it, it sits here. And what it would do is it come over, it kick over, and now it didn't line up with the turbo. I wasn't aware of that, or I would have just built my own. But I already had too much money into this one, so I made it work. Buddy, this is cast aluminum. I got no way of welding cast aluminum, so a buddy of mine cut it, flipped it over, made it work. It was a big help. Got the cold side painted. I got a coupler coming to, I guess, couple these. I gotta rotate that a little more so it lines up better. All these wires are gonna be gone. I'm thinking about moving all of these big wires, cables, move that solenoid over here on the firewall, just so I don't got all this large amount of wires running across the firewall. Just clean it up a little bit, make it look a little better. What else? Obviously the back axle's gone and the tub has been cut. I did that yesterday. Went ahead and pulled the Dana 35 out. Got the back tub cut. Pressure washed all underneath. Just so I won't have no more dirt falling in my eyes. Dana 80 42s. I got different rims coming. I don't really like those, but they work for the time being. I got my truss built. I still got to add some brackets on the inside, or supports, just to stiffen it up some. I'll be running this motor on waste motor oil. So basically I built a filtration system, like the fast systems, but I've got $20 in this instead of their 600. So that's another way to save money on that. These are both, I want to say they were 10 micron, I think. They're water separators. I was gonna go with like a 10 and a 4, but they were different sizes, and I didn't want it to look different, so I got them both the same. The water separators. My motor came with a stock 14 micron filter, so I've got two 10s, so I'm not really too worried about it. Got my front bumper built. This was a DIY bumper. I added the D-rings. I still gotta put the hoop across the front to protect the winch, or bull bar, or whatever you want to call it. I got the cross member for the lower control arms built. A buddy of mine welded this up for me because I've just been extremely busy. I had him do it. These are going to be welded to the frame, and then I'll weld the pipe to these plates, just so that way I have the most amount of weld surface to the frame as possible. That's going to sit right underneath the transfer case. Right underneath there. Works out pretty good, actually. Got my fuel lines there for now, but the plan is to fit them up inside this body line. The frame will all be gone, so I won't have to worry about this cross member here, but it should fit up rather nicely in there. Since I'm doing the back half kit, this bottom hoop will be gone. Basically what that back half kit does is it gets rid of how it drops down like that. Since I'm moving the axle back 9 inches, it should be about here. And as you can see, that frame being all the way down like that's gonna, I'm gonna lose some clearance. So what that does is you cut it 5 inches from the last body mount, so it's gonna be about here. You cut it off, and what that kit does is it's a piece shaped like this, but what it does is it slides over, you weld it, it comes up and stops here, and then you add 2x3 tubing and it goes straight back. Notch out a piece of this, the tub right here. You can weld your bumper to it, you can make a bracket, you can do really whatever you want. Blue Torch Fabrication has this piece here you can use and weld onto it, so you can use factory or aftermarket bumpers to use the same holes. However, I've already built a bumper, so what I'm going to do is just cut the bumper out for the tubing to slide in, and then just attach my bumper to the frame so it's all tied in. Another thing that I got planned is the fuel cell, since it's going to be underneath. I don't want to have to open stuff up and crawl in here to fill it up. So what I'm going to do is take this, rotate it, so now the fill port is over there. It'll be tucked up under the frame, and it should be sitting about right here. So what I'm going to do is just cut a hole here and to the bottom, run a tube through it so I can fill it up outside the Jeep. I can run it on pump diesel, or I can run all my waste motor oil through it. I've got about 200 gallons so far from work for all the oil changes that I've done. Just kind of been saving it since I started working there. Yeah, all this is going to get painted soon once I cut the frame off. But yeah, just a quick little update. Bunch of little stuff. Hopefully the next one I do, the rear axle will be sitting up in it, or close to being sit up in it. Yeah. If you got any questions, let me know. I'll try and answer them to the best of my abilities. Obviously, I'm not a professional. I'm doing this in my grass in my yard, but I'll tell you what I know, and yeah, I'll try and help the best way I can. Appreciate you watching, and yeah, I guess that's it. Alright, thanks.